So we got the first fire tornado ever recorded. No, that's pretty crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie. California 2018. Dang.
July 26th, 2000.
Hopefully nothing crazy happened.
Just formed.
No casualties, bro. No
Inside
casualties.
A wildfire.
911, your emergency.
Oh wait, I remember seeing videos online talking about this.
All the windows got blown out. I got my curtains down.
Bro, I mean, come on, don't tell me like it looks like Transit from Black Ops 2. Like,
Can't last too long here.
Okay, if you can get out safely, get out, okay?
I can't. No, I have to have a ride out of here. All on fire around it.
143 miles per hour, 2,700 degrees Fahrenheit, 18,000 feet tall.
The fire tornado
Dang.
exploded in the middle of what was already a gigantic, devastating wildfire. It was so unusual that even CAL FIRE investigators are still struggling to completely understand it.
The National Weather Service had
Interesting.
never issued a warning for anything like it. Fire crews on the ground had never trained for it. Scientists had never documented one inside the United States before, and it was moving directly toward
okay, that's weird though. Like, so many like perfect scenarios have to happen for this to happen, right? Or am I wrong?
of 90,000 people.
Like, that's
This is the story
crazy.
of the first documented fire tornado in United States history.
A fire tornado.
But to understand how a wildfire builds a tornado, you
Yeah.
have to go back 3 days, because what happened in Redding wasn't just a wildfire.
So, was it
the
like
exact set of conditions needed to create something no one had seen before.
how does a spark happen like that?
The region sits in the northern Sacramento Valley, wedged between mountain ranges on both sides. In spring, cool, moist air rolls in from the Pacific, but by July, that picture changes completely. As that same air descends the eastern slopes of the mountains, it loses its moisture rapidly. What reaches the valley floor is hot, bone-dry air that acts like a furnace, pulling moisture out of vegetation, out of soil, out of everything it touches. By midsummer, the hillsides around Redding are covered in
So let me get this straight. The cold air gets pulled in from the hot air, right? And then that creates like some type of like pulling effect, maybe.
dry grass and
Okay.
tall brush.
Okay.
It is, in every sense of the word, a powder keg.
What is
The
that?
summer of 2018 had been particularly punishing.
When we expect some of the peak heat to hit in parts
It's not a
of the
thermosiphon,
California
right?
Central
Nah.
Valley. We're expecting
It's
that sunshine and really this ridge of high pressure, the classic setup for a heat wave. And so we just continue day after day to bring those temperatures up.
After a prolonged drought from 2012 to 2016, a
Dang.
brief wet period had encouraged dense vegetation growth across Northern California. By 2018, all of that new
And that's
growth
bad,
had dried
right?
out completely. There was more fuel on the ground than there had been in years. A
Oh,
record-breaking heat
okay.
wave pushed temperatures in Redding to over 110 degrees.
Cause you think
Fahrenheit.
about it, 3 things to make a fire, right? The fire triangle. You got fuel. You got the ignition source, right? And then oh damn, what was the third one? Fuel, ignition. Oh well, I mean oxygen, yeah, but like
Fahrenheit for days on end. On July 26th
I think that's it.
itself, the thermometer in Redding reached 113.
well yeah, without
degrees.
oxygen you can't
The
really
air was
produce a fire,
dry,
so
so superheated that it was already doing half the fire's work before a single flame touched it. All it needed was a spark.
come on, bro. I'm just like sometimes I'm a genius, sometimes I'm just
A travel trailer was
but, like,
driving
bro,
along State
give me
Route
some credit, bro.
299 near Carr Powerhouse Road, west of Redding.
Oh wait, no way. Did they actually like confirm this?
Of the trailer's
Nah.
tires blew out. The steel rims
Nah.
scraped the pavement. The sparks it generated ignited dry vegetation.
This is how it
on the
happened?
highway's edge almost instantly. The car fire had begun.
What?
In its first 2 days, the car fire was large but manageable, spreading
So the car's tire popped and then bang, like,
Uphill through the
nah,
dry
that's
hills west of
crazy.
Reading, while crews worked to cut containment lines. Difficult terrain and steep slopes complicated the effort, but the fire was
That's
not yet the
too-
monster it was about to become. That changed on July
Oh my god,
26th.
bro. So what happens to the guy? It's like, is it I'm surely they don't, like, you know, do they fine him for that? That's kind of messed up.
Everything
Like, what
accelerated.
happens if you cause a fire like that, but it's like an
Powerful
accident,
weather
you know?
system to the north began pushing strong winds
Oh
southward
man,
across
I
the
wonder what
region.
happens to the
These
guy.
winds didn't just fan the existing fire, they fundamentally changed its character. By approximately 5:30 p.m., the car fire transitioned from a fuel-dominated fire, where terrain and vegetation dictate movement, to a wind-driven fire, where the wind itself becomes the engine. This is one of the most dangerous states a wildfire can enter, and almost no one on the ground realized it had already reached that point.
Wow.
The fire exploded eastward and downhill, racing toward the western suburbs of Reading at terrifying speed. It moved 3 miles east in just 4 hours.
So if you're trying to evacuate, like, where would you even go, you know? Like, wow. Bro, that literally looks like Black Ops 2.
Jump the river. There's a reservoir right there where that giant smoke is. It's on the reservoir side. I'm out of here.
Evacuation orders went
Why are you
out
even
to
that close, brother?
38,000 residents.
A wall of flames takes down everything in its path. Tonight, a staggering new count. Hundreds of homes destroyed, thousands more threatened. The all-night battle to stop the fire raging in Reading.
Firefighters scrambled to keep pace with a fire that was now outrunning almost every response. For people in its path,
Dude, that's just
the science
crazy.
didn't matter anymore. Zita
Thanks for the
Zeta,
follow, bro. I appreciate
who
that.
lived in the Lake Keswick Estates neighborhood of Reading, did not receive her evacuation order until she could already see the flames. There was only one
How does
road
that
out of her
happen?
neighborhood. It was backed up with cars.
What?
She told her children to pray. She recalls feeling the heat through her windows as she waited.
Okay, alright, yeah, okay, so... Alright, I'm gonna
in traffic,
just,
watching
you know...
the fire close in from behind. They made it out, barely. Several
Yeah,
miles to
I
the
mean,
north, 81-year-old
I don't know, if I was in that situation, best believe I wouldn't let some cars back me up. I'd definitely find a way out there.
Don Smith, a contract bulldozer operator, was working to cut a fire line above the Spring Creek Reservoir when the fire overran his position. A crew
Wow.
chief made multiple radio attempts to reach him, urging him to get
Come
out.
on, bro, don't try to
Two
be a hero,
firefighters
bro.
tried to reach him on foot. The encroaching flames forced them back. 4 helicopters dropped water through the smoke and fire around his last known location.
The pilots had to guess. They couldn't see the ground. It was so hot that one helicopter's temperature warning
Nah.
light flicked on, and at 6:08 p.m., it was forced to land.
Don Smith and his open cab bulldozer were nowhere to be found.
I mean, brother,
CAL
like...
FIRE spokesman Scott McClellan
Don't... man, sometimes I wish I don't have to say this, but, like, don't be a hero. Like, even... Look, fires aren't normal where I'm from, but... Man, just... You know, that's someone's job, you know? Like, yeah, I'm sorry, it's not your job, but, like... Stop. Like, don't try to be a hero. Unless you're qualified... Unless you're a qualified firefighter, off-duty firefighter, whatever, you know, that's your life. You've been in those situations before. I totally believe, then I feel like that's okay. But, like, man, like, sometimes it's just like, bro, your life is just way more valuable, like, lives
plane summed up what crews were
shouldn't be
facing that
justified, but, like,
evening. The
like,
fire was moving
I don't know
so
what I'm going with this,
fast, he
but
said that law enforcement was doing evacuations as fast as they could. There was little anyone could do to slow it down.
exactly, like, if it's just a wildfire like that, just evacuate.
But
Get out of
something
there,
else was
man.
beginning to happen above the fire. Something that very few people on the ground had ever witnessed before. And
Like, know your risk. Know your risk.
something that none of them had a name for yet.
As the Carr fire exploded in intensity on the evening of July 26th, it began releasing enormous amounts of heat energy into the atmosphere far above it.
Oh,
That
dang.
heat drove powerful columns of hot gas and smoke rising rapidly into the sky. At around 7:20 p.m., those columns punched through a layer of stable air above them and burst into the upper atmosphere. Within just
What?
15 minutes, the updrafts doubled in height, shooting from 6 miles to 12 miles above the
Oh
Earth.
my
They
god.
reached an altitude of 39,000 feet, above
Dang.
the cruising altitude of commercial aircraft. This
Yeah.
triggered the formation of what scientists call a pyrocumulonimbus, or pyro-CB.
What?
Essentially,
A fire cloud?
fire-generated thunderstorm cloud.
What? Nah, that's insane. A fire generated thunderstorm.
Fire
Oh,
was no
brother.
longer just
Nah.
burning, it was creating its own weather system. As the
That's
massive cloud
crazy.
grew, it began stretching the column of air below it, concentrating existing rotation near the surface. Wind shear near the ground, areas where air was blowing in sharply different directions at different heights, combined with the enormous updraft to rapidly organize that rotation into a coherent, intensifying vortex.
Isn't
was
this...
no longer
This is
just a
just...
wildfire. It was becoming
Bro.
something else. A tornado.
Yeah, like... Oh my god, that's
The fire
crazy.
tornado began touching down near Land Park in Reading at approximately 7:30 p.m. At its base, it measured 1,000 feet across. It reached an estimated height of 18,000 feet into the sky.
It was creating its
The winds
own weather
inside
system.
measured
Nah, that's...
143 miles per hour.
That's
the
cooked, bro.
equivalent of an EF3 tornado, strong enough to level homes. The
Wow.
temperature within the vortex reached an estimated 2,700.
See, I didn't know about the
degrees
fire
Fahrenheit.
tornado,
For
bro. I
reference,
just...
That is roughly the melting point of steel.
The footage captured that night looks like something pulled straight out of hell.
To me, it looks like Black Ops 2. That literally looks like... Oh my... Nah.
It was the strongest tornado of any kind ever recorded in the history
That
of
that's
California.
that shit
Only the
is
second
huge.
True fire tornado ever scientifically documented anywhere in the world. After one observed during the 2003 Canberra bushfires in Australia.
Oh, okay.
As it moved, it left a damage path that looked nothing like a wildfire and everything like a violent tornado. Trees were debarked and snapped. Ground scouring appeared beneath the vortex, soil stripped from the earth exactly as it is beneath the most violent conventional storms. Massive electrical transmission towers, engineered to withstand extreme loads, collapsed. A steel pipe was found wrapped around a tree. Homes that
Wow.
the fire itself had not touched were still destroyed, roofs torn off, walls blown out by winds that had no business existing inside a
That's
wildfire.
even... Wow.
3 bulldozer operators, Don Andrews, Terry Cummings,
Oh,
and Jim
man.
Jones,
Rest in
were
peace.
suddenly engulfed while working nearby. All
What?
3 machines had their windows shatter simultaneously as rocks, burning embers, and debris bombarded the cabs.
Okay, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. This is just the definition of your boss says get your ass to work and you still gotta go to work. Like, how is the fire that close to you and you're not out of range? Like, you're literally melee range to the fire. Like, huh?
This is nuts.
Come on, bro. You've seen the fire, like...
I'm in a dozer on Buenaventura up by Lake Avenue. All the windows got blown out. I got my curtains down. I don't know if you guys behind me are alive. I can't last too long here.
Okay, if you can get out safely, get out, okay?
I can't. You know,
No,
I have to have a ride
don't.
out here. It's all on fire around us. Can I give you my wife's phone number? Tell her I love her.
All 3
Yeah, bro.
survived, barely. Unbeknownst to
I
all
mean-
of them, less than a mile away, a Reading fire inspector had already radioed his final transmission.
Huh?
Jeremy Stoke was 37 years old. He was a fire prevention inspector with the Reading Fire Department. Not a firefighter on the line, but a man whose job that evening was to drive through neighborhoods and make sure people had gotten out.
Oh,
When the
wow.
car fire ignited on July 23rd, Jeremy had been on vacation. He cut it 4 days short. He volunteered to come back. When the fire transitioned to wind-driven and began racing toward the city on the evening of July 26th, Jeremy was already on the street. He was not fighting the fire. He was protecting
He
people
was,
from it.
yeah.
At 7:39 p.m., with the fire tornado bearing down on Buenaventura Boulevard, Jeremy radioed his mayday. He stated his location. He asked for a water drop. He said he was getting burned over. There was no response.
Wow.
The official CAL FIRE investigation concluded that Jeremy Stoke suffered fatal traumatic injuries when entrapped in the fire tornado while engaged in community protection operations. He was located
Damn.
in the early morning hours of July 27th. He was the first firefighter in documented history to lose their life to a fire tornado. His colleagues described him as someone who cared deeply about the people of Reading. His final act was driving toward danger to make sure his neighbors
Wow.
had made it out. They had. He had not. Jeremy was not the only one lost that evening. When the smoke finally cleared, a pilot spotted-
Another bulldozer? Oh my god. What? Okay, well, genuinely, alright, this is a question to California. It ain't even about whatever is going on here. Like, why do y'all, what company is responsible of leaving their people stranded like this? Like,
Dawn's
I'm
bull-
genuinely confused.
bulldozer
Why is
from
there
the
so
air.
many?
It had been completely engulfed. There was no sign of the protective
Oh,
metallic
no.
fire shelter that firefighters deploy as a last resort. Dawn Smith did not survive. Both deaths, Jeremy's and Dawn's, occurred within an hour and 50 minutes along a single 3-mile
Oh, what's up with
stretch
the
of car
bulldozer
fire.
people?
Meanwhile, in a quiet residential neighborhood on the northern edge of the fire's path, the tornado's wind field was sweeping over homes that had nothing to do with the fire line. Ed Bledsoe had evacuated earlier that day.
That's
but his
really
wife,
on the
Melody
companies.
Bledsoe, 70 years
That's
old,
really on the
had been
companies,
unable
bro.
to leave in time. Ed Bledsoe later told reporters that Melody had been on the phone with him as it happened. She told him the tornado was directly overhead.
Oh
Those were among
no.
her
See, there's
last
nothing you
words.
can do about this one.
When Ed was finally able to return, nothing was left.
I was talking to my little grandson on the phone. He's saying, "Grandpa, please, you got to come and help us. The fire's at the back door." I said,
What?
"I'm right by you, honey. Just hold on. Grandpa's coming."
Oh,
Melody
man.
Bledsoe and her 2 young great-grandchildren didn't make it.
That's sad, bro. Praise to this family, bro. Wow. See,
In
that's
total, the Car Fire tornado directly claimed
sad,
4
bro.
lives. The Car Fire as a whole claimed 8, destroyed 1,604
Thanks for the follow, bro. Appreciate it.
structures, burned 229,651 acres, and caused over $1.6 billion in damage. By 8 p.m. on July 26th, the fire tornado had dissipated. It had been on the ground for approximately 30 minutes. The car fire itself continued burning for 5 more weeks, finally contained on August 30th. By then, entire neighborhoods of Reading were gone. Half of the historic town of
Wow.
French Gulch, all but 2 houses in Keswick. Communities across Shasta and Trinity counties had been permanently changed. In the scientific community, the event generated immediate and significant research. A study published in Geophysical Research Letters documented the fire tornado in detail, finding that it formed through processes nearly identical to conventional tornado dynamics. Not simply a product of fire heat, but a genuine atmospheric vortex driven by a fire-generated supercell. The authors concluded that radar data had contained advance indicators of the vortex that could, in the future, be used to issue warnings.
Hmm.
Jeremy Stoke's name is now written into wildfire training materials across California. The
Wow.
way fire agencies
What a legend.
plan for
What a
extreme
legend.
fire behavior, particularly the danger to personnel who are nowhere near a fire line, was changed by what happened on Buenaventura Boulevard.
Okay, thank God that they did this like investigation. They always do investigations after these, and thank God. I hope they put the companies somewhat liable for these, because like, brother, like, you can't just leave your bulldozer operators out there like that. Like, that's, man, you gotta, first of all, why don't they have a safety truck or something nearby to hop in and literally get the hell out there? Like, they need a way of escaping, bro. You just leave them out in the forest like that, like, bro, they gotta think about these things. But luckily,
July 26th,
hopefully they did think about these things, bro,
2018,
because prayers to
the idea
those
of a
people. They
fire
didn't deserve
generating
to
its
go out
own
like that.
tornado was something most people would have called impossible. After Redding, it became something fire crews across the American West now
That's
plan
crazy
for,
right there.
train for, and watch for.
I'm
at the
glad,
start
I'm
of every
glad.
fire season. Because the conditions that created it, the heat, the drought, the wind shear, the fuel, are not gone. They're still
Man.
there every summer.
Yeah,
Firefighters know how to fight fire.
yeah,
They know how to read wind. But
True.
nobody taught them how to survive a tornado made of both.
true. So the fact that this happened, though, you know, now it's like it's a thing where it's like you are, the most dangerous like scenarios are the ones that you're not prepared for. So it's like, you know, now that they're prepared for this, they train for this. Hopefully
July 26th,
this won't happen again.
2018, because now they know it can happen. And the next time it happens, they may not get a warning either.
Yeah. Yep.
If you
Good
made it
video,
this
bro.
far,
Good
thank you for
good
being
video,
here.
bro.
These stories take time to research, write, and edit, and every single view, like, and comment helps keep them
That's
going.
crazy, bro.
So if you want to see more documentaries like this, consider subscribing and leaving a like. It genuinely makes a difference. And to
Man.
everyone already supporting the channel, whether you've been here from the start or just joined recently, thank
Man.
you.
For real, thank y'all. Thank y'all. Good video. W reaction, W vid. We're gonna keep it rolling though. Prayers to the families, to the people who lost their homes, bro. For real.